welcome back. For this video, we are going to solve some of the numerical problems that are in chapter 2, and the name of the chapter is Units and Measurements. So in this chapter, what we are going to do is solve few sample problems and learn how to solve them, and by doing that you will be able to solve all other problems that are mentioned in your textbooks. I have taken up few numericals which are of different types. They may or may not be from the NCERT textbooks, but yes, they are from some of the other state board textbooks, or maybe some CBSE textbooks, or maybe some of the competitive exams that you might come across. So, if you look at the first question, you are supposed to calculate the height of the tree. Now, let us look into the detail for the first problem. So, you are given that there is a tree whose height is unknown, which has to be calculated, and if you stand at a distance 50 meter from the tree, the angle of elevation to see the top of the tree is 60 degree, which is given to you. The unknown is the height. So what do we know? We have an angle, we have a right angle triangle ABC, and we know the angle is 60 degree. So what do? We go back to our trigonometry. We know that tan theta, it is opposite upon adjacent. So tan theta is equal to h by x. So what we do? We make x the subject of formula. We make h the subject of formula. So h is equal to x tan theta. So what happens? 50 into the value of tan 60, which will give you 86.6 meter. So what did we do? We used the trigonometric method to find the distance between the points A and B, or in other words, we use this method to measure the height of the tree. In your exams, you might be asked to measure the height of the building, height of the man, or maybe the distance of the building and the man. Maybe you will be given something like angle of depression. For example, you are standing on point A and you are looking at point C. So then what is given to you is angle of depression. And what you want to find out? You want to find out the distance x. So then what will it be? It will be opposite upon adjacent. Again that will be tan theta. Correct? So let us go to the next numerical. Now, in this problem, you are given that a moon is subtending an angle of 1 degree and 55 minutes. And what else you are given? You are given the radius of the earth. So the radius, from the radius of the earth, what you can get? You are able to get this AB, which is the diameter of the earth, and using the method of parallax, what you will find out? This distance from the moon and the earth. Now, before getting into the parallax method, let us see the relations between them. Now, 1 degree has to be converted into radian, 1 minute will be converted into radian, and again 1 second also there is a conversion factor. So now, what is our angle? It is 1 degree and 55 minute. So what we have done? We have with us 1 degree 55 minute. So it is 60 minute plus 55 minute, which is 115 minute. Now 1 minute is 60 second. So 115 minutes is what? 115 into 60, which will be equal to 6900 second. So what did we do? We converted degree into minute and minute into second. But now for our parallax, the theta, okay, that theta should be in radian. So what have we done? We have again converted the second, 6900 second, into radian, and we have come to our theta, which is 3.34 into 10 raised to minus 2 radian. Next, back to our formula which I have taught you in the first lecture on second chapter. So x is equal to b by theta. What is x? X is the distance between the moon and the earth. B is the diameter, which is twice the radius, and radius is given to us. So by doing simple division, we are going to get the distance between the moon and the earth, which is 3.83 into 10 raised to 8 meter. Is it clear? Okay. So we will go to the next topic, which is, okay, now this is the third problem. You are given here is a radar signal. It is going from the planet Earth, and it will touch a planet and will come back, and the time for this is 7 minutes. And what is the distance between the Earth and that planet? It is 6.3 into 10 raised to 10 meter. What are we supposed to calculate? The speed of the signal. Now we know that the distance between the distance between the planet and the Earth is 6.3 into 10 raised to 10 meter. The time taken is 7 minutes. But let me tell you, whenever such calculations are done, we are not writing time in minutes. We will be writing time in seconds. So 7 into 60 seconds will be the total time. Now what is speed? Simple. Distance travelled by time taken. So what is the distance travelled? It is twice d, because the signal has to go, touch the planet and come back as the echo. So the total distance travelled is twice the distance, and time taken, as I told you, it is 7 into 60. So simple. Distance travelled by time taken, what you are getting is the speed of the radar signal. Clear? Okay. Now we will go for the fourth problem. So in this fourth problem, you are given the angular diameter of the sun, that is theta, that is 1920 second, and the distance of sun from the earth is also given. And what are you supposed to measure? The diameter of the sun. So now in our formula, we have d, which is unknown, the small d. Capital D is given to us, theta is given to us, but theta is in seconds. So what you are supposed to do? You are supposed to convert that theta into radian. So again, look at this relationship. So angular diameter 1920 second into 4.85 into 10 raised to minus 6. So you are getting theta in terms of radian, which is 9.31 into 10 raised to minus 3 radian. Correct? Again, small d, that is the diameter of the sun, is nothing but angle into the distance. So making small d as a subject of formula, we are getting the diameter of the sun. Clear? So this type of questions can be solved using the parallax method. Now we will go for the fifth problem. So in this problem, what you are given is an equation. You have LHS half mv square and RHS mgh, where m is the mass of the body, v is the velocity, g is acceleration due to gravity, and h is the height. What are you supposed to check? You are supposed to check whether this equation is dimensionally correct or not. So what do? You take the LHS, you take the dimensions of mass, you take the dimensions of velocity, but it is squared. So meter per second becomes meter square per second square, isn't it? Now we go for RHS, dimensions of mass, dimensions of gravitational acceleration, that is meter per second square, okay, and then h, which is height, which is again meter. And now we compare the dimensions of LHS and RHS, and we come to the conclusion that this equation is dimensionally correct. Now let me remind you once again that this equation is dimensionally correct doesn't mean that it is 100% correct. You need to check something else also. Maybe half mv square is not the point. You can write 2 mv square also. Even then LHS will be equal to RHS, but then it may not be valid. So I had told in the last lecture, and again in this lecture I am telling you that the equation can be incorrect even if it is dimensionally correct, but it can never be correct if it is dimensionally incorrect. Clear? Let us go for the last problem, which is the sixth problem for us. So in the sixth problem, what do we see? We are supposed to derive the expression for the time period, and it is told that the time period is proportional to length of the pendulum, it is proportional to the mass of the pendulum bob, and it is also proportional to the gravitational acceleration. So what do we have to do? Just to remove the proportionality, what we have done is we have introduced a constant which is dimensionless. Okay, the exponents x, y and z are the respective exponents of length, gravitational acceleration and mass. Now let us look at the LHS. LHS is time, that is clear. So it is m0, l0, t1. But on the RHS, we have l raised to x. We have for l raised to 1 and t raised to minus 2. What is L1 t minus 2? It is meter per second square. So that is gravitational acceleration, and again it is mass, so it is m1. So we are now comparing the exponents of m, l and t. Now comparing the exponents of m, we have x plus y is equal to 0, because for length dimension in LHS, L is equal to 0. Okay, again minus 2y is equal to 1, because in LHS t is equal to 1, but in RHS minus 2y. Okay, so we are comparing minus 2y equal to 1, and the mass dimension is 0 in LHS, so z has to be 0. Clear? So by simple equation, x is equal to 1 by 2, y is equal to minus 1 by 2, z is equal to 0, and finally we come to this equation where t is equal to under root L by g, and there is that proportionality constant that we had removed, okay, that comes into picture as k. So these were some of the problems that had been discussed today. There may be more problems that you would like to solve. So what you have to do is take your textbooks, solve the exercises, solve the problems that has been given as an illustration, and if you have any doubt, you can comment or even write a mail to me. I hope you enjoyed this small lecture. We'll come back with the third chapter, which is motion in a straight line and its numericals later on. Thank you.